When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. This is the arrival of the Blood Moon Pack, Part 2. Now, before we begin this story, I've already made 3 parts of this series. It is a DC stuff, so I'll eventually start getting more DC stuff into it, but I'm trying to build the story up to that point. The main character of this, Leon, will be visiting one of the Earths from the multiverse before he gets to the main Earth. I don't know how many he's going to visit. I haven't even figured out how he's going to get from the dark multiverse to the light multiverse. So I haven't figured that out yet. It's either going to be on purpose or accident, or someone does it for him. Anyways, that's not really important right now. That's a little further off and comes to the story. I'm just trying to build everything up so you get a gist of his character. I know he doesn't really talk much outside of battles, but you'll eventually see more of his personality as the story progresses. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. Damien was watching Leon charge at the group of werewolf that split off from the main group that was surrounding his unit. Damien begins to approach his second in command. I see you managed to survive, Eva. With all due respect, sir, fuck you. Eva looked around, noticed everyone is grouped together. So she slammed her palm on the ground. Then a blood magical circle appeared, engulfing everyone in a red energy dome. Excellent work as always, gives us enough time to talk while our new member deals with the wolves. New member? You can't be serious. Did they actually assign us a hybrid? The stuck-up higher-ups seem to not like the idea. What can I say, Eva? I'm very persuasive when I want to be, dear. I hope this hybrid is worth all the trouble. Trust me, Eva, he's worth it. I've already seen him in action before we got here. He had a little encounter with a Lycan. Eva's eyes widened slightly. I see. I'll hold my judgment for now. Meanwhile, Leon charged right into the group of werewolves that split off from the main group, surrounding the rest of the vampires, and began to dodge several werewolf claws. Leon had to lean back from an upward slash from one of the werewolves. Then Leon kicked the werewolf in the stomach, sending the werewolf flying into a nearby building. But he couldn't capitalize on his initial attack. He had to dodge several more claws coming from several other werewolves. was in several different directions. Leon had to use two black kunais that slid out of the sleeve of his coat into his hands and block several werewolf claws with his two weapons. Leon started to increase his speed each time when his two kunais collide with any of the werewolf claws. As sparks were created, the moment the first spark went off, it temporarily blinded one of the werewolves. That's when Leon struck. Leon reflected one of the claws away, then underswung one of his kunais under the jaw of the temporary blind werewolf, then slammed his other kunai on top of the skull of the werewolf, then twist the two blades and yanked his weapons, yanked his kunais out of the skull of the werewolf. Leon placed the kunai in his right hand in his mouth, slightly biting down on the handle of the kunai, then blasts the werewolf with his free hand with black fire. Everything went dead quiet. No one was moving. When it finally registered what just happened, all hell broke loose. All of the werewolves began to charge blindly out of rage, seeing one of their pack members being killed so brutally. Their numbers increased drastically. Because of the increase of numbers, Leon threw both of his kunais, piercing two werewolves in the skull, killing them. Then he immediately engaged all of the other werewolves with his short katana and began to cut them down one by one. Leon found these werewolves to be incredibly weak. The only reason why he's being pushed back, because he's slowly being overwhelmed by their superior numbers. As all the werewolves begin to attack in all different directions at the same time, becoming quite difficult for Leon to block. With his short katana, somewhere deeper into the city, Zeke has finally stopped flying through buildings. What stopped Zeke's momentum was a solid brick wall he slammed into. The moment he made contact with the wall began to crack, making spiderweb cracks behind him. From the pure force of impact he made with the wall. Well. What did I just see? Did I just see you got your ass kicked, my foolish student? Zeke immediately recognized the voice and jumped up onto his feet and faced his teacher. What are you doing here? As he's beginning to talk nervously, like he's terrified. Apparently watching you get your ass kicked by that hybrid. Follow me, my foolish student. We got a hybrid to kill. I won't have one of my students to be defeated in such a disgusting manner. No, teacher, I'll take care of him myself. Legion grabbed him by the throat and lifted him up in the middle of the air. I won't have your actions disgrace me, Zeke. You will behave and follow my orders. Exactly. We are going to kill that hybrid. You will obey, or I will force you to obey. The reason why you lost so utterly is because you underestimated your opponent. I've told you many times, never estimate your opponent. Do we understand each other? As she slightly tightened her grip around his throat, as he could barely respond, "Yes, teacher." "That's a good boy." She released her grip, dropping Zeke to the ground. "Now dust yourself off. For your disgrace of a performance, I forbid you to be in your wolf form." "Shift now." As she narrowed her eyes, Zeke, werewolf form, began to shrink and turn back to Zeke's humanoid form. "Such a drag. Why do you have to be so rough?" As he begins to rub his neck. Legion gave him a warning look. Of course, Zeke either didn't catch it or didn't care. "If you're so aggressive, you never find a husband." Legion socked Zeke in the face. As Zeke went flying back into the wall that he slammed into prior, she pressed the back of her heel against Zeke's throat. "You've always had a smart mouth, Zeke. If you make any other comments like that again, let's just say it won't be in your best interest. It would be in your best interest to avoid such topics. It would be in your best interest because it would cause you severely bodily harm. Am I clear?" "Yes, teacher." "That's a good boy. Now, let's get moving. We have a hybrid to hunt down." Meanwhile, Leon was continuing his assault. Eventually, he was forced to use magic for crowd control. He started to blast black exploding fireballs, one after another. Because of the blood barrier over the vampires, they were unable to see what Leon's doing. They could sense what he's doing, but they can't see. Eventually, Leon cut every single werewolf with his short katana. When he noticed all the werewolves were dead. As you can see, different types of body parts scattered all around. Leon gave his sword a singular swipe downwards to swipe away the blood from his blade. Once he noticed his blade has no blood on it, he slid it back in his sheath. Leon watched the blood barrier dome begin to dissipate as his commander began to approach from behind him. Leon knew who was approaching, so he didn't outright attack him on instinct. Quite a display, Leon. I might not be able to see it, but I could sense what was going on. We'll do introductions later. Status on the mission, Eva. Have completed our mission. We just got ambushed on our way back to HQ. Orders, sir. We'll be heading back. We'll do introductions once we get back to HQ. No doubt the word that a hybrid has entered the battlefield. The word most likely spread by now. Let's go, everyone. We need to evacuate this area, then find a place to rest, so we can head back on first light. I'm fully aware a lot of you are not capable for long travel. Let's find a temporary place to lay low. You have your orders. Move out. Leon, cover the rear. Eva, you're with me. With everyone in their position, they immediately begin to run in vampire speed away from the location. They eventually came across a couple good condition buildings. Once they found a proper building to lay low in, they immediately fortified the doors and began to board up the windows. After that, Eva made sure to make small blood magic circles above all the entryways, above the doors and windows, in any exit out of the building, and immediately activated as all of the entryway begin to sealed off by a red magical field. After she made sure all the exits has been covered, she eventually made her way back to the others. There is no way getting into the building. They would either have to force past the barrier, or they would have to come through the wall to do so. Eva leaned against the wall next to Damien, staring across the room from Leon, keeping a close eye on him. Do you think we could trust him, sir? Of course not. It would be foolish of me to do so. But why is he here, then, if you don't trust him? You're still here. I didn't trust you at first either. You are in a similar situation, like Leon is. I'm not saying you have to trust him. You just have to work with him. He'll do his part. Understood, sir. I'll keep my personal feelings to myself for now. Why don't you introduce yourself to our new recruit? After all, he'll be under your direct command when I'm not around. As he tossed her a large glass vial of blood, several actually, Eva caught both of the large glass vials of blood. As Eva let out a sigh, I'll take care of it, sir. I'll do it, but that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Eva approached Leon, who was leaning against the wall, staring at the metal barrel that is being used as a fireplace, as he's watching the flames dance around in the metal barrel. Catch. Leon caught the large vial of blood. I'm Eva. I am in charge when Damien is not around. Leon. Well, Leon, I'll be frank. I don't trust you. Don't get me wrong. I might not trust you, but that doesn't mean I have any hatred towards you whatsoever. I just don't trust you hybrids. You're a mysterious lot, even for vampire standards. As long as you follow my orders, we shouldn't have a problem. That shouldn't be a problem, Lady Eva. Eva or ma'am will be just fine. Our fearless leader said you fought a Lycan. I want a debriefing on what exactly transpired during that fight, Leon. Understood, ma'am. As Leon gave Eva and Damien, a play-by-play of the events leading up to the fight with his first Lycan encounter, and about the magical artifact that the Lycan was using that was implanted in the middle of his forehead. I knew I wasn't going to like what you had to say when you mentioned it earlier. That's a bit troubling. Agreed, sir. If they can recreate this artifact and install them into these werewolves, it'll definitely make them more dangerous. If the werewolves could actually get a magical teacher, I shudder at the thought of the damage they would cause. When we get to the HQ, I need a copy of this mission report. You see, Eva here comes from one of the older vampire families. She's considered a noble vampire in her family. The head of her family has a seat on the Vampire Council. I hate that title, just because I'm a noble vampire. Somehow makes me some sort of different species. It's ridiculous, really. I'm not denying nobles are far more powerful than regular purebloods. But that's pretty much the difference. But no matter, my father would be very interested in this information. He would get it regardless. It'd just be faster this way. Shouldn't be an issue, man. I've already going to make a copy of the battle report to Council Member Victoria. So making one more for one of the other members of the council shouldn't be an issue. Added one more. We need to give one to our commander. Already planned to, sir. Leon began to drink his blood, replenishing any wasted energy during all the fighting he's been doing. His magic was in good condition, so he didn't have to drink any magic potions to replenish his magical reserves. After all, it should recover on its own eventually, so there is no reason to waste any resources. He'll save it when he truly needs it to recover some of his magic. If he finds himself in a dangerous situation, low on energy, or magical energy. A black magical book materialized in Leon's hands. Eva took notice as a black book came out of nowhere in Leon's hands. No way. She immediately turned to Damien. Explain, sir. Explain what? Ada? Explain why am I seeing Leon, who is a hybrid, that should not be able to use magic, magically made a magical book, appeared out of nowhere, most likely a spell book. Why didn't you tell me he was able to use magic? Using blood magic is one thing, but don't play me for a fool, sir. I was able to sense it earlier when we were in the blood shield. I just wasn't sure it was him doing it. I thought it was just a random mage that was caught in the crossfire of the battle. Damien started to laugh nervously. It kind of slipped my mind, Ava. With all due respect, sir, you're an idiot. I know you constantly remind me. Not even I know how Leon's able to use magic, like the humans. I don't know much. That I don't know much. That wasn't already provided under his dossier. He's connected to the Blood family. Victoria. You got... Wait. Don't tell me you went above everyone's head. You got the hybrid from her, didn't you? Yes, it wasn't easy to get an audience with her, but she seemed very interested in how I built this unit. You know those old farts would have denied any request to get a hybrid, so I had to go directly to the source. Pissing off a lot of people on the way, but I don't care. I think I understand the situation a little better, sir. You know, for vampires who's trying to be secretive, probably not a good idea to have this conversation when I'm right next to you lot. Sorry about that, Leon. It matters not. All I could say, I'm indeed connected with the Blood family. I'll follow my orders. You won't have any issue with me there. Unlike the other of my hybrid kin, I know how to control my basic instincts. Unlike the rest of my kin, that can be territorial and quite aggressive. You're not wrong there. Of course, I'm only that way, only on the battlefield, sir. And for your question, Eva, yes, I'm able to use magic. It manifested when I was young, and I've been trained in it accordingly. According to the bossman over there, I'm technically going to be your magic expert for this unit. I'm not afraid to admit it. We could really use someone that knows the craft. If I remember right, the humans that do know magic usually focus on a type of magic. You must be referring to their affinities. I have two main affinities. Fire. And what's the other? Gravity. I've never heard of gravity magic, or even gravity affinity. I'm no expert. I can only use blood magic, because I am, unlike you, I can't use the type of magic you can. What I've been told is a very unique affinity to have. Is very rare. Apparently, the last human that had a gravity affinity died about 800 years ago. And he didn't even knew he had it until near the end of his life. I'm no master, but I know enough about using gravity and utilizing it in appropriate spells. It has many applications. We'll have to have a deeper conversation about this at a later date. I'm surprised you're so interested in this. Most vampires are not. I'm indeed interested in this, as you say. But as your superior, I need to know these things so I know your capabilities, so I know what you're able to handle and what you're not able to handle. Not only that, I'm in second command. I am the strategist and healer. Understood. Good. Meanwhile, Legion and Zeke, we're still trying to track down Leon. but there were so many different scents from humans, werewolves, and vampires. It was hard to get a good track on him. Do we do, Teach? We're gonna have to find a place to stay. The last thing we need is to be out in the open, in the middle of the night. I have no doubt the many corpses around the ruined city will attract some of the unsavory supernatural creatures that are lurking in the night. Do I need to remind you of the incident you had with the Wendigos? Don't remind me, Teach. I barely survived that encounter. Or the Skinwalkers. That wasn't a fun experience either. As they walk into an abandoned building, just a mile away from Leon's location, as they started a fire in a metal barrel. So give me a rundown on this hybrid. I witnessed some of the fight, but I didn't see the whole thing. We were finishing up our mission when we came across a pureblood and a hybrid. So I decided to engage, but unfortunately, the other pups were too eager to face their opponent and were struck down. He was very fast and precise. Other two were killed by the pureblood. Not sure how they died, but he seemed to finish them off quite quickly. I don't care about the pureblood vampire. All I want to know is about the hybrid. Well, he figured out the magical artifact in my forehead quite quickly. He's quite strong. We fought the entire time, and he never once transformed into its wolf form. Continue, Zeke. And somehow he was able to use magic. Yes, I believe I saw that part. That's going to be... But that shouldn't be possible. Vampires, or hybrids, can't use actual magic. They have to rely on blood magic. They shouldn't be able to use actual magic that the humans can do. Normally, our kind can't perform such a feat either. That's why we have that nifty little focuser in your forehead. If those blasted vampires found a way around it and started to mass produce hybrids like that one you faced, that's able to use magic, we'll lose this war. If only the other alphas from the other packs would have just worked together with the rest of our kind, we would have won this war a long time ago. You mean if it wasn't for those traitors? I agree. This whole mess would have been avoided if the damn Blood Moon pack didn't disappear and join forces with the goddamn vampires. Once we kill the vampire, win this war, I'm gonna hunt down every single last one of those that treacherous pack. But what I don't understand, teacher, is why they align with the vampires. According to what I know about the Blood Moon pack, they were always a violent and war-driven pack of werewolves. But then when the war began to start, they didn't take part. Not even I know what was going through the Alpha's mind at that time. It doesn't matter. They are our enemies. They are no different than the vampires. They allow themselves to be infected and turn into some sort of science experiment. But I can't deny their power. Now, enough about this. Let's get some rest. Take first watch. The next morning, Leon was still reading his spell book when the sun finally began to rise. He shut the book as the magical tome disappeared from his hands in a flash of black and red light. Good, I see you're already up. We hybrids don't need to sleep much. About an hour or two. For several months. Sorry guys, give me a second. I'll keep that in mind. I did some scouting when everyone was resting. Was that wise, sir? The city was infested by all the nearby Wendigos and whatever creatures were near, just outside the city, feasting upon the corpses of the constant battle that's been taking place in this ruined city. No need to worry about that. A couple Wendigos and Skinwalkers is no trouble for me. When I was scouting, I caught scent of that Lycan you were fighting yesterday, and he's not alone. He's with someone, and from the scent and power I could sense, it's someone very powerful. I have no doubt they will probably after you. That's to be expected. Most werewolf packs would see the Blood Moon Pack as traitors. What's the plan, sir? Engage them, or do we continue on our path back to HQ? We're in no condition to engage them. Fighting that Lycan is one thing, but fighting that other one, whoever this person is a unknown, and the last thing we need to do is come across a elder werewolf. Most people refer them as the Ancient Ones. I'm not saying that this unknown werewolf might be one of these Ancient Ones. It's a possibility, so as soon as everyone's ready to get moving, we're following our original plan, and head back to HQ as fast as possible. Not only did we kill the target, but we came across some information that would be quite useful for the higher-ups to know. Copy that, sir. I have no doubt I'll come across that Lycan again one day or another. I have no doubt you will, Leon. Eventually, everyone got up as they began to leave the area running at vampire speed. Not going max, but going fast enough, making good distance. Luckily for the small group of vampires and hybrids, they did not come across any further encounters. They managed to avoid Legion and Zeke so far. Leon was guarding the rear while running through the city. It didn't take Leon very long to notice they're being followed. Bossman, I would advise us to pick up speed. We're being tracked. Got it. Everyone, pick up your speed. With the vampire unit increasing their speed, with the distance between them and the werewolves, their distance between themselves and the werewolves only gained. They eventually made it out of the city and immediately bolted into the forest, started to travel through the trees by using the large tree branches to jump from one tree to another. As they slightly slowed down their speed, as they traveled through the large forest. Everyone, listen up. we're making a small detour before we get to HQ. I know of a underground outpost that would be very useful to lay low. It hasn't been used in many years. It would be best if we lay low for now to make sure we're not being followed. The last thing we need is to leave the werewolves directly to our temporarily HQ. They eventually arrive after traveling 20 minutes to a large cave entrance. This is the underground outpost. It hasn't been used in quite some time. I'm uncertain if there's any nearby supernatural predators that has made this cave their nest, so be wary moving forward. Everyone draw out your weapons, as all of the vampires unsheath their swords. All the vampires pulled out their weapons out of their sheaths. So did Leon, alongside with Eva. You know, we're likely walking into a nest of whatever monsters that's in the area, just waiting for us inside. Know as well as I do, this area is heavily infested with several different creatures. The likelihood we're walking into a nest is very high. Of course we're walking into a nest. It wouldn't be fun if we weren't. Where did you learn about this outpost, sir? It's one of my family's outposts that we made a while back, that we never used. And this outpost will be our base of operation moving forward. When we're not needed at HQ. I was afraid of that. I sort of figured you have something like that planned. I know I'm going to regret this. A little faith in your leader. You wound me. Alright, you lot, listen up. Me, Eva, Leon will venture into the cave to determine if there's a nest further inside. You lot will guard the entryway to the cave, and please, keep out of sight. Let's go, Eva, Leon. As Damien was whistling a catchy tune, Leon and Eva wasn't liking how cheerful he is, but they both nod in acknowledgement and followed Damien's lead, walking, as Eva and Leon were walking right beside each other, walking into the cave without saying a single word. Leon noticed the cave pathway seemed to be quite wide, so it's not too difficult for three people to travel through it at the same time. The three of them stopped when they found themselves in a fork in the path. Then suddenly, two different type of screeches echo through the cave. Clearly, those screeches are from two different type of species of supernatural creature. Eva is a bit irritated. Not only that she has to go into a filthy cave to deal with whatever nest she's walking into. Clearly what she just heard from two different type of creatures. There's clearly another nest. Most likely some sort of territory war between the two of them. What was that? I'm not entirely sure, Leon. Stay close. Our leader is clearly too happy about the situation for my taste. Of course I am. I find this whole situation to be quite enjoyable. But seriously, we shouldn't have a problem as long as we don't trespass on whatever creature that has made this cave their home. According to my family records, this cave is quite large, so it's not surprising two separate supernatural creatures that have made this cave their nest. The two vampire and hybrid. The two vampires and hybrid are trying to decide which way they're going to take. But Damien finally spoke up. I'll catch you two later. Where are you going, Damien? I'm taking this path. You and Leon take the other. You can't be serious, sir. Think of it as a bonding exercise. Try not to kill each other. As Dion went through his pathway, whistling with his hands behind his back. Eva was clearly grumbling under her breath. All right, New Blood, come on. I swear, if that idiot doesn't die, I'm going to run my sword through his gut. Leon, don't use that fireball while we're in the tunnel that you used earlier on the werewolves. Understood. My fireballs are quite dangerous. It would compromise the tunnel if it did explode. I'll use my best judgment moving forward. Whatever hostile creature will come across. I'm not entirely sure what we will come across. Could easily come across a ghoul, wendigos, skinwalkers, and there's other different type of creatures that likes to make cave systems their home. What do you know about other supernatural creatures outside of the main ones? Just the basic information in the academy that I was taught. I've heard about this academy a few times from passing by vampires that were openly talking about it. What can you tell me about this academy? Nothing much, ma'am. Anything I would be able to relay to you would be considered classified information. I figured as much. I might not like it, Leon, but I understand. Let's keep moving. Be wary of your surroundings. Just refrain from using any of your more destructive magical spells while we're in the cave tunnels. Copy that, man. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Go to my time zone. And I'll catch you in the next video.